All right, let's take a look at this income portfolio I started in July. All right, today is September 26, 2025. I have 6 high yield ETFs. ULTY and XBTY are my biggest positions. And then I also have, TSYY, Maggie, and NBII. I do have a margin account. Right now, I'm not in margin. I have $8,359 in cash. And for about the last 3 months since I started this portfolio, I'm up about 0.44%. And you can see my buying power. And it appears September's dividend slash incomes are in the books. A really nice month for me in my small portfolio at $661. And you can see what I did in July and in August of this year. And then for this 4th week in September, you can see the breakdown of the distributions I received for this week. Maggie, $1.67, XBTY, $45. TSYY is a new position I opened up this week, but I got after X dividends, so nothing from them this week. NDII, $2, $4, almost $5. And then ULTY, I think the dividend just hit $52.32 for a grand total of $106 in dividends. And then I did have $68 of realized options income for a grand total of just about $175 for this week, which is pretty good for me. And now if we just look at the first 4 weeks, you can see the first week 97, the second week 98, the third week, and then the 4th week that just happened. I have 2 days next week, Monday and Tuesday, to make some more dividends, but you can see how much I've made so far. But I do know the distributions for Maggie, NBII, and my new position TSYY, which will bring me to the $661 that you saw on the other screenshot. So $465 of dividends, $197 in realized options for a grand total of that's $661. Not bad. I almost doubled what I made last month in August. As you can see right here, the $334 to $661. Okay, let's get to the review. September 26, 2025. Today, up about 1% or $80. This past week was a red week, down 3% or about $275. The past month, up 0.74% or about $60. And the lifetime of this account, which is about 3 months, up 1.12% or $92. A quick peek at the buying power. I do have that margin account again. You can see I got about $6 in cash. I'm not in margin right now, but I do have one options play open, which is putting an options collateral against my margin of $500. I'm still not sure I understand this buying power of $8,200 because I'm $4,800 above my margin maintenance. So in my brain, I think I have about $4,800 of buying power. But anyway, I digress. All right, now look at my positions. ULTY is my biggest position, 37% of the portfolio. You can see my average cost of $6.18. At the time of this screenshot, ULTY's at $5.44. You can see I'm down about 12% or $420. However, 13 weeks in, I've collected $528 of dividends. So I'm up about $108 minus taxes. So I'm pretty much at the break-even point. But we're going to continue to go with ULTY and collect these dividends and just keep seeing how it goes. And the next up is XBTY, which is the second biggest position in my portfolio, 26%. You can see my average cost of $22.68. We're sitting at $19.06 right now. XBTY is getting hammered because Bitcoin has been coming down quite a bit this past week. You can see I'm down about 16% or about $416. And with XBTY, I'm about 8 weeks in. I've only collected $224 of dividends, but you can see I'm way down on this position. And if we look at Bitcoin, you can see right there, it is down $6,000 just this past week, which is not helping my XBTY. So I'm just waiting on Bitcoin to pump. I'm not panicking. I'm going to hold this position. I forgot to mention all the 6 high yield ETFs I have are weekly pairs. So up next, NDII, a true growth and high yield dividend position. It is a $30 ETF, but it only pays about 20 cents a week or so. So you can see the total appreciation. I'm up 4.3% or $16 while getting out those dividends. About 5% of the portfolio, my average cost of $30.26. We're sitting at $31.56. So I really like NDII as a growth/dividend fun. Next up is YETH, another Bitcoin related ETF. So between YETH and XBTY, this week was just getting hammered. It's what's made my portfolio go down, quite a bit this week, but it is what it is. These things will turn around. At least I hope so. But you can see I'm down 14% or about $50. My average cost $29.54. We're sitting at $25.40. It's a smaller position, just about 4% of the portfolio. Next up is Maggie. This is an expensive ETF, about $56 a share. You can see I barely have 5 shares, an average cost of $56.91, about 3% of the portfolio. It's down $1.30 or about 0.45%. They're spitting out 37 to about 40 cents per distribution, which is not bad. It's just a matter of me getting more money to build this position. And then my newest high yield weekly ETF, TSYY, a lot of you commented saying I better get some. So I did my little research on it, and it's basically, you have an $8 ETF that's consistently giving you 21, 22 cents distributions per week. So it's cheap and it has great yield. So right now I'm at 44 shares, an average cost of $8.39. You can see TSYY is sitting at $8.43. So just a little bit of a return, 0.5% or almost $2. You can see today was a really good day, up $9. I haven't received a dividend yet. I'll be receiving one next Tuesday of about $10 with these 44 shares. And I think Tesla's going to have a run, through the end of this year into Q1, Q2 of next year. So I'm going to try and load up as much as I can on TSYY at this price point of $8, between $8 and $9. And if you've been following me for a little bit, you know that I have a couple growth funds to help support this high yield ETF portfolio. The first one is BOO. Right now I have about 1.14 shares, or about $700 in market value. I opened up these growth income funds in late August, so they're very young. So it's going to take a while for them to mature and do what I needed to do, was just to keep this portfolio at least flat, hopefully go up and to the right. But anyways, I'm up 3% on VU, or about $21. My second growth fund is QQQ, 1.12 shares, about $670 of value right there. 8% of the portfolio, up almost 4% or about $25. And then my third growth fund is Bitcoin. Even though it's been coming down, I'm going to stick with it. You can see I have about $390 of value with the average cost of $111,000. My total return, I'm down about 1.5% or around $5. And right now I do have one options play open. It's a $5 put on MSOX. It expires on October 17th, so I still have a lot of time left. The premium was $82, just the one contract. Again, $5 put, break-even price of $4.20. You can see my total return now is just like a 10% or $9. Again, a lot of time to let this run. I don't know where this is going to go. I just know if I get assigned, I can run some covered calls on it. And so that's where it is, just this one options play. And that's where you saw that options collateral of $500 against my margin. And sticking with options play, I just got in this 2 weeks ago. A verbal shout out to Eric's journey. He kind of was watching his videos and he kind of gave me the confidence to go ahead and pull the trigger and start doing a few options play. So for this week, I did make $68 in options. I did a TSLL put at $18. I closed out fairly early. The premium was only 13 cents. So I just got my a little bit over 50% on that. And then I did a little bit bigger one, an ACN put credit spread. So those are a little bit more risky. I was really out of the money on this put credit spread, but I saw it coming down. I went ahead and I was able to get most of the premium. So I closed at 92 cents. It only cost me $5 to close. So I had a good second week of trading options. And so far, just for the last 2 weeks of September, I made a grand total of $197. And then you saw that on the graph that I had at the beginning of this video. But here's the proof. So I've done a little options crazy these past 2 weeks. I'm lucky I didn't lose my ass on any of those spread it puts, and I did do a couple calls, spread calls on Tesla. It all worked out for that $197. So I'm really thinking what I want to do in my next move in options. MSTU, it follows Mr. or MicroStrategies. I'd had Misty, Bitcoin. I know the relationships between all those entities. So I don't know for sure, but it seems like I want to sell like 5 contracts at a $4 strike price for these guys and see how that goes. You can go to the trade options and let's just do it for 1 week. For 7 days, you sell a put. If I sell the put at $4, it's $15. I'm willing to buy 500 shares. So if I do 5 contracts, that's $75 premium basically. And Mister might have hit its low right now, and it looks like it might be creeping back up. So it could be easy money, or I could get a sign and start practicing my covered calls. But you can see right there, $75, it could be easy money. But I don't know, because next week I know that there's a potential government shutdown and the markets hate that, and everything could just go down. So I might wait until to see what the resolution is of this government shutdown fiasco that seems to be happening, twice a year. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking for options, selling a put on MSTU. And that's it, my friends. A quick review. Hopefully it wasn't too long on the 4th week of September 2025. Just a little income portfolio. Folks, thanks for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.